Good evening to everyone. How is everyone doing? Welcome to Body, Mind, Soul TGIF with Christina. And yes, it's coming back to another Friday, and today is the last Friday on April. I will be sharing a very direct and simple things, 3 steps to digesting bad news positively. And also, just a quick question for everyone, is it possible to even receive bad news with a positive attitude? Like, how can these both coexist at the same time? And of course, we also have, how can we digest all these, heartbreaking news in a peaceful manner? So if you are actually looking for ways to overcome, or even, you are going on a journey that are receiving and bombarded with lots of different bad news, you know what? Tonight is the night where we can all have some fun at the same time, understand each other even better, or giving ourselves to understand ourselves better. So welcome and a very good evening to everyone. So let me know where you're tuning in, and also if this is your first time, welcome to Body, Mind, Soul TGIF with Christina. So we have been doing, last week we have the Man Circle, and this week we actually have me back joining me tonight. And so before I go further, I have something interesting to share with you before we actually go into to break down, to even break down what we are going to talk about, what kind of bad news am I referring there. Everyone digest it differently, everyone see it differently as well. But before that, allow me to share with you a little bit about something that I had fun doing. I must say, something that I had fun doing. And I hope, to share with all of you here the latest volume from Body, Mind, Soul magazine. So if you never heard about us, and this is the first time you accidentally stumble upon us, Body, Mind, Soul started off in 2014 as a magazine publication, and we are the first holistic wellness magazine, full English, full color, published in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. And all these years, what we always aim is to impact life positively, and we have evolved from just a magazine publication into running actual events, physical events back in those glorious days. And of course, now because events in the past 2 years, it's kind of like we can't do it physical, and that is why we turn everything into online, and we have this live talk session on every Friday night. Friday night is more or less a session where allow us, or even the host. So in the past, it was only me running this TGIF Friday with everyone, and it was more of a journey of sharing, supporting a community feeling for everyone, to let everyone out there know that whatever that you're going through right now, you are not alone. And I'm sure, we can do other things. We can connect with each other even more in a community setting to improve, to expand our knowledge, to expand our consciousness, to grow ourselves, to be a better version that we wish. And if you are, struggling with even some life situation, Body, Mind, Soul is always here, aims to impact your life positively. So this is what we do. And, this year, I'm so happy that we started a TGIF Man Circle. And, there is a safe space for the men to express themselves, to understand their emotion differently as well, with trained facilitators from the golden space. So all these things can't do without if we don't even have Body, Mind, Soul magazine started off in 2014. And yes, so do drop me a hello if you are here with me, and all the hardship back to you. So we are a quarterly published magazine. Before I go on to this, and I'm going to share with you the latest volume 32 on Instagram. Unfortunately, I can't share it, but you know what? You can always click on our social medias, okay? So here we go. Let's see. So this is all the articles going bananas. We have the mystical light. We have healing and loving to breathe. We have dare to be unique. We have the energy of our 4 seasons, the power of light. The simple recipes over here, mystical light reading, thriving in the abundance mindset, the path to integrity, words of power to transform your life, emergence of the true self. And yeah, so you'll have lots of articles for you to read and to feel good about it, to empower you, to motivate you to move forward. Personally, I love the article, The Mystical Light. Let me just pull it over here. I love this article, The Mystical Light, because the writer really allowing us, to understand light. Just these few letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 letters, how it play an important role in our life, right? In a spiritual way as well, in a more generic way for us to understand. Okay, so one of the things that the writer talk about this is actually the light. Light is as simple as you smiling. And with that smile, it creates another form of light in another person. And this light is contagious. So this is beautiful. Hi, Melissa. Hi, thank you for joining me. And I've just shared, what we have on volume 32. I hope you have downloaded that volume on Instagram. On our website. Yeah. So coming back to 3 steps to digesting bad news positively. Before we go further, I believe it's important for us to sort of understand the context of bad news. Okay. So when we talk about bad news, right? What are bad news, right? For me, it's very simple. Any news that you feel it doesn't comfort you, it doesn't make you feel good, no matter what other people say, that, hey, this is not even that bad. Why are you feeling this way? It doesn't matter. As long as it doesn't make you feel good and it makes you feel bad, that is bad news to me. All right. So this is very individual and very personal. And bad news can be in many, many different forms. Of course, there are good news and great news as well. But good news and great news, who doesn't like it, right? Everyone loves it so much. The thing is, to receive and digest bad news positively is a question mark for me personally in my journey. So that is why I find that there are so many blind spots in my life that I kind of overlook it, and brush it off. So I'm going to go into details later. So let us just start with, what are bad news? So I just want to, kind of set the context correctly for all of us, or the flow or the structure a bit. So that is why I said, anything that you deem and feel bad is considered bad news, all right? And they are, what I say, external versus internal. So there are external bad news. External bad news can be things like, like what I heard over the men's circle, there are no bonus being released from the company. That is considered a form of bad news to them, and it stresses them, right? A deal being rejected, a project that's being rejected. Hi, Pujin. Nice to see you on Instagram. You can hop on to Facebook or YouTube so that, we can engage together. Yeah. So it can be a deal being rejected. It can be a rejection as well. It can be someone leaving you, It can be heartbreaking breakup, that puts you devastated, right? So these are external bad news, all right? Then we also have internal bad news. And this is something I find it interesting when it comes to internal bad news. Internal bad news to me, I would say it can be all the mind chatters, all the thoughts patterns that I feel bad about it. For instance, example, self-rejection, right? Feeling defeated, unworthiness. This can also be a form of internal bad news. So the question is always, when it comes to bad news, what are our default reaction? So what is your default reaction when you have or receive a bad news? What is your default reaction? Do you embrace it, or do you, it's okay, it doesn't matter, I'm good, I'm very good, I can manage, Yeah, nothing wrong with having these good vibes that you can manage. But what I want to highlight to everyone is, you know, there is an undercurrent if we pay a little bit more attention, right? So I share with you my personal experience, and please, if you have anything that you wish to comment, you can always comment on Insta, on YouTube, or even on our Facebook. Let me know that you are there with me. And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to question as well, so that we can have a sort of like engagement. I love to connect and contact and engage with all the audience from Body Mind Soul followers. Okay, so over here. So when I would say that recently, what hit me really strong and made me realize this digesting bad news, positively, and how my default reaction was, a very dear acquaintance, rejected, to be involved in a project that we used to work together. So my first reaction is I brush it off. How did I brush it off, right? How did I brush it off? The first thought that came to me was, yeah, it's, you know what? For this person to be able to be so honest and so open to tell me straight to my face, hey, Chris, I really don't want to be involved. Don't put me in. A part of me is honoring and acknowledging that this person is so brave to tell me directly what this person wished to do and how this person wished to involve, right? And instead of half-heartedly to continue to drag this person into working something that his or her heart doesn't truly feel with it, he be honest, right? So I brush it off saying that, yeah, this is good. He or she, is so honest with it. But there is this little voice inside me that I just feel so disappointed. I feel so disappointed. I feel sad about it. I feel demotivated over it as well. But here I am, having that positive mindset instead of facing it positively, positive mindset, yeah. So actually, I was brushing it off without me knowing it. So I was running away from it, running away from my true feelings instead of honoring and asking and knowing how my heart is feeling about the situation. It is definitely a bad news to me, honestly. It is not something great for me to digest. Yeah. But instead of facing it with courage, acknowledge, I run away just by brushing it off, thinking it's not important. The funny thing is, it keeps bugging at the back of my mind every day. And there is a sense of, I would say there's a sense of, kind of like you don't feel like doing anything at all in a way because of this small little thing that I deem is not important, right? So that is why I realize, and of course, I'm lucky to have people around me who manage to see or who manage to observe or pick up that, hey, something is not very right with you, Chris. What is wrong, And that is when I explain, I express, I share. And this is something that, last week TGIF Men's Circle also talk about, is sharing about our emotions, right? So I share, and then I realize, you know what? I miss out something here that I wish to bring it on for everyone, so that in future, when you are going through receiving a bad news, you have a step to face it positively. Face it positively also made me realize that it doesn't mean that you brush it off with positive affirmation or positive thoughts. This is my humble personal opinion. It actually means that, to take up that courage to honor the real feelings inside us. So the first step is really, in order for us to digest the bad news positively, the first step is very important, is to allow and admit. What is it to allow and what is it to admit? before we can even allow and admit, the prerequisite is having that courage. The courage to truly face directly with the feeling that don't make us feel good. Because we don't want to be seen as a bad person. I believe so. I don't want to be seen as a bad person, right? But things do happen, right? Things do happen. So how do we allow? First of all, instead of reacting straight away, so there are two different reactions here. One is you will react directly and perhaps you'll get yourself into an argument, right? Second is like me. I just be quiet, and thinking that it's a good thing. This person is telling me so honestly, but inside me, I don't feel good. But I just keep quiet. So what it takes is that pause a while instead of jumping into a conclusion like, hey, I shouldn't be thinking that way. I shouldn't be feeling sad because this person is being honest. All this I shouldn't, all this I jump into conclusion, I should just put it aside. Like for instance, what do I mean by jumping into a conclusion? It can be, let me just take the no bonus as an example. So let's say you are working in a company that has been taking a very good care of you, right? And your company has been very diligently paying your salary, and they are doing their very best to hold on all the staff, at the same time making sure the business running, and everyone is on the same boat, everyone is bonding together to pivot through this current economic situation. And then your higher management tell you, hey, so and so, Chris, because of the situation right now, I don't think this year we can release any bonus at all. So inside us, right, we know our company is taking care of us. We know that they are doing their very best and they are struggling. How can I be so selfish to even feel that sadness, or that disappointment, knowing that the company is struggling and doing their very best? So this is an example of what I'm saying, jumping into a conclusion of saying and brush it off. Brushing it off that this is what I feel. Right? It takes courage. It takes courage. Hold on. Let me just bring up a comment over here. Alicia, sounds so familiar. After learning good acceptance, face it positive, etc., etc. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say here is a lot of time, oftentimes we jump into a conclusion and we didn't really have that courage to pause for a while and allow ourselves to do one action. To allow ourselves to admit our true, deepest feeling, our honest, bad feeling, bad emotions, our feeling that is not good about it. Giving ourselves that permission to admit that we have this kind of selfish thoughts or emotions is a very courageous move. It's not something that I'm asking you to gossip with others. No. It is more of an internal digestion that you allow yourself to admit this first. What is the benefits of admitting all these different little bumbles or bursts of emotions that we deem are bad, right? The benefit is we no longer suppress our real feelings. We aren't using all the positive mindsets to brush it off or to run away, because sooner or later, all these little things, it will add up, become a bigger ball, and it will roll inside us and it will sort of eat us up without us even knowing. So this is very, very important. So just by having the courage to allow ourselves to pause, allow ourselves to take up the courage to face and honor and admit our real, deep, bad emotions, that if you want to say it. Again, I want to say, and I want to share, along my journey, I realized that there are no bad or good feelings or emotions. They are all just my emotions. It's just at this point of time, I feel like crying. So I allow myself to cry. So this is a very important act when it comes to digesting a bad news. Especially, it's easier when the bad news is something external that you can see. It's a situation. Right? What if it's a bad news that is internal, like what I shared just now? It's emotions, it's a mind chatter, it's a thinking patterns. So this works, this even become more crucial. The courage, the allowance, and the admit. Okay, so do let me know if you have any other comments or any other feelings, let me know about it. And then let's go on to the next one, which is accept with empathy. Why do I say accept with empathy? Imagine that I use all those positive thoughts pattern. Nothing wrong with it. Sometimes we need those uplifting words to move us. But sometimes we kind of have to stop for a while and look deep inside us. What is that true emotions or the true pain that I really don't want to face it because of this bad news that I receive? So you see, I did Google it a little bit about toxic positivity. Toxic positivity, according to Google, it involves dismissing negative emotions and responding to distress with false reassurance rather than empathy. So imagine that you can accept yourself with empathy, knowing that, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to have this feeling. It's not like I'm using this emotion to go out and harm someone. I'm not. But I'm just digesting internally. I'm not letting it out or lashing it out to that person or to that situation. But just by allowing and admitting, I accept myself with empathy, right? So this is very, very important for me. I am a person who are very harsh on myself. And oftentimes I can't accept that I have bad thoughts on people or on situation. But that is what my true feelings are, So as long as I come with accepting it with empathy and have that courage just to admit I have that, that actually helped to melt down a lot of other snowball emotions that was rolling, or I would say imbalance, right? So all these things, it kind of like complementing each other. And it's important to go through it one by one and take our time, but not our own sweet time, of course, but take our time, have that pace, continue to just do it slowly, one by one. Having that awareness is very important, right? And I have over here, yeah, it is a snowball effect, exactly. And Alicia, not good or bad emotion, it's just my emotion. Exactly. Heart shape to you, thank you. And oftentimes, we kind of like judge it like what the toxic positivity said. We dismissing our negative emotions and responding to distress with false reassurance, rather with empathy. So I feel this is important. We accept it first. Of course, after we accept it, it is then we can truly and be honest with ourselves, to embrace ourselves with love. In the end, digesting bad news, right? Digesting bad news, it's not to make the other person feels good. It's to make us feels good. It's to make us from feeling terrible to feeling good. From rather hiding this terrible feeling to bringing this terrible feeling up in the light so that we can transform it into the energy or the form of positivity, and it can help us to motivate us to move forward another step further. So when we can able to embrace the entire situation from the point of time of receiving the bad news to admitting, hey, yeah, I don't feel good. I actually feel very angry at this person, blah, 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 to accept it, to acknowledge it. And then we embrace ourselves. Oh, yeah, I do have this attitude. Yeah, I do have this, this thoughts. And then, yeah, but I love myself in this situation because I have the courage to see through it. I have the courage to face it, honestly with myself. I have the courage to be honest with myself. And that is a celebration that worth celebrating. So when I allow myself to digest with these 3 steps, with the situation I share with you, that the acquaintance that really, say it to my face, I don't want to be involved. From feeling disappointed, then I realized, oh yeah, I felt I'm being left over, like left down, So all these things, when I'm able to acknowledge, that's when I can digest and accept the situation with a positive attitude. Yeah, so I hope this can help everyone tonight. Yeah, let's see. Not respecting the negative selves, question mark, because it is also part of oneself, also not balanced. Alicia, is it a question or it's a statement that you are trying to share with everyone over here? Yeah, I would say it's more of honoring, like acknowledging that we do have a positive and the negative side of us. In the end, all this is part of us. And if we continuously ignoring the so-called bad side, okay, so Alicia is asking how to embrace. Well, I believe, sometimes when we truly give our time to acknowledge it and slowly, there will be a feeling of hugging the situation. It's like hugging that negative thoughts, hugging that feeling sad self. It's like a hug. When we embrace, it's like a hugging feeling. You hug and you pat on the shoulder. Hey, it's okay. That is where embrace with empathy means. Hey, it's okay. It's okay to feel this way. That kind of feeling. Can you feel these emotions, right? Yeah, so this is one of the way. Of course, it takes courage again. Yeah, it takes courage to go in, to allow yourself to feel that pain, right? And this is something that we don't want oftentimes because we know it's painful and our body don't want us to feel that because it's heartbreaking. But if we allow ourselves to go through it and just pat on our shoulder, like as though you're seeing that sad you in front of you, and you just pat on her shoulder and just say, hey, it's okay, I'm here with you. And I accept and I acknowledge the entire situation together with you. It's like you talking with you. It's the same as having that mind chatter of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, this is making me very, very sad. But instead of having those kind of conversation, we are turning it into having, hey, yeah, I'm here with you. Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, I know we are sad. I know we feel bad. And let us, breathe this out together. Let us feel good about it towards the end. So that can be one of the way. And this is how it helped me, to hug myself in my own meditation, I would say, or I would also write letters to myself. And I was like, dear Christina, how can you? No, 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 no. How could you? No, 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 no. But I know you need to express. And I'm here with you. So there are different ways. You can write a letter for yourself. So that is also another form of embracing. And that is more visible. If you are not someone that that are used to meditate, writing a letter to yourself it's a good way to embrace it with love, to embrace and to accept the situation with empathy, accepting yourself with empathy as well. I hope I answer your question, Alicia, the embracement part. Yeah, let me know if you need further explanation. I'll try my best to do more. Yeah. At the same time, I didn't know time passed so fast today. Alicia, befriend with the emotion or the emotional self. Yes, yes, befriend with them. We love to befriend with the positive emotions, but how about the negative? It is also us, you see, right? So this is part of us as well. And we can't ignore that fact, right? So when a bad news occur to us, right? So this is my way of digesting it. So it's really about having the courage to face it face to face, right? To face it directly and acknowledge and admit that, yeah, I have that. And then from there, only then we are able to transform these negative feelings into a more positive vibe. Yeah. So I hope this will help everyone, whoever that is listening to this. And if you feel, this is a good one for you to share with your friends, I appreciate very much that you share it with your friends, whoever out there that is waiting for some steps as simple as this. It's just a simple 3 steps, but oftentimes we took it for granted. I myself take it for granted and I ignore my feelings at the very beginning, and those are my default reaction. So it's important that we have that awareness of how we react. Only then we can make a choice whether to take these 3 steps or not, together with our courage. Okay, so I have a good news to share with everyone. Tomorrow, I'll be having, first time and ever, 3 men together with me on a live talk setting. I'm not sure how it's going to be. I hope it's going to be smooth and not everyone trying to talk to each other. But it's going to be fun because we are going to talk about how do men support each other. Right? We will be having YK, Michael, and Chong, who have been running TGIF Man Circle on Body Mind Soul platform. So this round, tomorrow they are going to talk about allowing us female to understand how men support each other. That's first thing. And of course, to also shout out to all the men out there, the importance of having support from a trained personnel. So we're going to have lots of fun tomorrow, and I have had a chat with them a few days before. They have lots of pointers and they have lots of wisdom that they wish to share with the audience. So I invite everyone to invite your friends, your husband, your boyfriend, your brothers, your siblings to hop in tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Okay, so with that, okay, let me just pull the question out first. Sorry, I wanted to end the live talk, but I have a question coming in. So how do we allow and process those bad emotions while things happen in the office or public or so? For this, it's a very good question. So usually, if it's a bad news that you receive in a public, I would say, take a step back first, right? And then in a space that you're alone, if you can. If you can't, toilet is always the best place. Or a space that you're alone, to just allow yourself to breathe it out first. If you have that awareness that it's a bad emotions, meaning you are very good, you have already had the awareness. So you can step back, instead of react directly, you can step back and find a space to just breathe it out and allow yourself to go back to admit and acknowledge and allow. So just go back to the first step. I hope this also can help whoever out there as well. All right. So of course, yes, it is almost time. Let me just pull that out. So tomorrow, 3 o'clock KL time, I'll be having Michael Wong, Chong Ming Kwan, and YK Teo for Body Mind Soul Live Talk. How do men support each other? So I hope to see everyone and see all the men out there, and of course women, to hop in and understand men even better. Because Mars and Venus have never been on the same frequency. So it's time for us to put them together. Because me hosting them together, so we're going to have lots of fun. With that, I would say good night, everyone, and have a great weekend. And I'll see you tomorrow, Saturday at, I would say, 3 p.m. Yeah, if you have missed out this live talk, don't worry. You can always watch the replay. And I've shared 3 important, I would say, personally impacted my life positively to transform and digest negative news or bad news with positive attitude. With that, I wish everyone have a good rest, have a great evening, and Selamat Hari Raya to all our Muslim friends, and have a safe journey, whether you're traveling home, balik kampung, or you're traveling for your holiday. Have fun, everyone. Bye-bye, and see you next week.